What was the most NSFW thing that happened at your school? Story 1. 2 kids bucked in a stairwell of my school. They got caught because the guy filmed it and posted it on Facebook and Twitter. Story 2. In grade 8 a kid jerked off in the science lab and came onto a bunch of different slides. He then looked at them through a microscope and left them for someone else to find. Story 3. Couple bucking in the girls' bathroom. There were loud noises. About 20 people were standing outside listening and cracking jokes until a teacher forced them out. Story 4. Similar story at my school cafeteria. A guy was sucking his girlfriend's breasts in the middle of the lunchroom in my sophomore year of high school. Obviously they were both expelled and the story was never heard of again until now at least. Story 5. Back in high school I walked into the boys' bathroom to see 4 pairs of shoes in a stall. I didn't know if they were found drugs or something, but I left. It turned out that it was 4 8th graders. Apparently one of them was a girl and she was giving oral sex to 3 guys at once. Story 6. We have a big statue of a patriot in the front of the school, and as a senior prank a couple of kids super glued a dildo to his crotch. When the principal tried taking it off, he couldn't because they put lube all over the dildo. Best prank ever. Story 7. When I was a senior in high school, a small group of freshmen who came in on one of the early morning buses apparently had an orgy in the bleachers of the football stadium. It was the talk of the school for about a week. Not sure what happened to them. Also in middle school, 2 boys were caught inserting a broomstick handle up a girl in our shop/technical class. Totally consensual, but also totally bucking weird. Story 8. During a movie in my freshman history class, a girl whacked off a guy behind us, and when the movie was over she stood up and slapped the guy's XGF with the cum hand. Holy crap, gold? Thank you, smiley face. Story 9. Well, a teacher came to class drunk off his ass. He was a good teacher, but his wife died recently, so the school board was lenient on him. They asked him to go to therapy. He came back a while later and apologized to the class. He was a cool teacher, so we pretty much understood he was out of it that day. We never brought it up again after he came back, mostly out of respect. Story 10. Well, some dudes thought it'd be a nice idea to have a finish line in their bicycle race. They used a string for that. And didn't tell the participants. One guy got his cheeks cut a la Heath Ledger's Joker. If you made it this far, please consider pressing the subscribe and like button. Now continue to the video. Story 11. I was oblivious in grade 6, but it turned out one of the girls was giving blowjobs in the back of the bus. Then they moved to 2 to 3 girls giving blowjobs at a local park. One of the kids told his mom, and that's how the whole system was found out. Turns out me and a couple of my friends, while our friend circle, were the only ones to not be a part of this blowjob ring. Story 12. Some grade 9s took nude pictures of themselves and sent them to some grade 12 guys. Those pictures quickly made their way to the phones of every student in the 3 high schools in town. Also, the principal's daughter gave her boyfriend a handy under the table in class. Story 13. Our high school counselor got caught with nude pictures of students at school, along with pictures he had snuck and taken up skirts, and some of his students while they were in his office. Real creepy shit. And when they confiscated his PC at home, they found he was a distributor of child pornography. I remember the news saying there was video of 10-year-olds on there. I remember him being sleazy. He'd flirt with female students and I had to go to his office more than once. He was always overly nice with me. He made me very uncomfortable and I didn't know why. He fled the state and was actually on America's Most Wanted list. Story 14. At my girlfriend's high school, 2 kids took a shit ton of Molly and had anal sex on the roof of the school during class. Here's the kicker, it was a 2-story school. There were classrooms with windows essentially all around the dirty duo, and many witnessed the deed. Story 15. I have 3 notable stories. During an assembly, the presenter plugged in his flash drive into the computer being projected to the auditorium of 11th and 12th grade students. The computer automatically opened his gay corn and played a slideshow in front of everyone. It made local news and I think he lost his job. Every year our school's ski club takes a trip to Vermont. On the bus ride a girl gave two guys head and got caught. Now on every bus ride for events we sit boys in front and girls in the back. Finally, during an assembly two freshmen snuck to a closed-off section of the auditorium. She gives him head. A janitor walks in and reports them to the office. A week later all the 9th grade girls had an assembly about how not to be a whore and to respect yourself. I have even more but those are the best I got. Story 16. I once watched a teacher, who was a black belt I may add, take down this kid for trying to award a girl in the bathroom. It was a brawl though. The kid definitely connected to his face a couple times. Story 17. The year after I graduated a girl blew a guy in the woods by the school during the House Olympics, kind of like a field day. The two of them were trashed and the guy finished on her face. The girl was then found in the cafeteria with cum all over her face. Story 18. A freshman had anal sex for the first time under the staircase before school one day and passed out apparently. She hit her head and her boyfriend had to dress her and carry her to the nurse's office. School found out and had her parents come in to watch the security camera film to verify that that was in fact her daughter having anal sex and then passing out. Story 19. Towards the end of my senior year, a few of us pulled some money together to buy a 6-foot inflatable penis. We blew it up during our last assembly and the brains behind the operation launched that bad boy out of the middle of the senior section. It flew out towards the middle of the court. Our geography teacher immediate ran out to carry that giant schlong away. Some of my classmates snapped a few pictures of that moment. It was glorious. Bonus, a few minutes after the launch, our principal gave us a pre-written speech where she begrudgingly expressed how proud she was of the graduating class and commended us on our maturity. Double bonus, it was a Catholic school. TLDR, flying giant penis in front of entire school. Story 20. When I was a freshman, a group of seniors put a dildo on top of a vending machine and then hid with a camera. The superintendent found the dildo and they videotaped him. At the time we all watched this stupid thing called Channel 1 each morning, which was basically a patronizing news program for teens. The seniors replaced the tape in the library with a loop of the super jacking off a dildo on top of a vending machine. If memory serves, they were never caught. Story 21. Ooh. So one of my favorite teachers in high school, he was this tall goofy guy, a chemistry teacher. The type who would stand up on desks and shout when he was trying to demonstrate different chemical reactions. Our class had a running joke that he looked like a wacky inflatable waving arms man or whatever. The funniest image I have is of him walking down the staircase to his car, and reacting like that upon seeing a line of our JV football players waiting patiently, and just around the corner, a freshman girl gargling this kid's nuts. Apparently she had already blown a few guys, and was working on this one, and the guys waiting were waiting for their turn. This was supposed to be the good luck ceremony for them before they played our rivals that night before homecoming weekend. It made a few national newspapers, I believe. I'll try and find an article. Story 22. I'll do this by grade/school level. Middle school. We got an inner-city juvenile delinquent placed in our little farm town middle school in 8th grade and all the guys thought she was the hottest thing because she was a super slut. She had blow me tattooed over her ass, flashed the entire class during art class because she wanted someone to draw her, and kissed like half the damn class offering to suck their DS afterwards. They asked her to go to the principal's office because she was so out of control and we had to evacuate the room because she threw a fit and cops had to come down to get her. Never saw her again, but I'm pretty sure she spread herpes to like five guys in my class. High school. 2 kids got arrested for having sex behind the vending machine. Like people still went up and got drinks though like it was no big deal. The whole football team caught MRSA and it was revealed that it was because they were grabbing each other and wrestling in the showers. The wrestling team used to play a game to see who could grab more DS in the showers and would occasionally put icy hot on their balls and run a naked gauntlet where everyone punched them and grabbed for their DS. School was bucked up. Story 23. A guy has a collection of dildos and vibrators on the top shelf of his locker for some reason. One of them accidentally gets turned on and left in the locker, principal discovers after complaints of buzzing sounds. I think the guy was only suspended. Now he lives on a gay hippie commune in Tennessee. A poo bandit was on a rampage for a month and a half, shitting on the floors of bathrooms and hallways, smearing their feces on lockers, display cases, walls, anything really. Culprit, S? Were never caught. Guy gets expelled for standing up on the bus and waving his D out the window at children. Several people caught masturbating in the bathrooms and publicly shamed over the years. 7th grade middle school teacher starts tutoring one of his old students, a sophomore. A torrid love affair ensues that ends with her dropping out of high school, the man's wife and family leaving him, and he's still serving prison time. We'll post more as I remember them. Story 24. I was in music class and I play the saxophone. I was just sashing away and I hear someone yell. The girl that screamed was sitting next to a kid who played the tuba. I put down my sax and turn around and there is a kid just frozen still. He is kind of known for being a weird guy, but what I saw was next level weird. He was holding the mouthpiece of the tuba toward his crotch. This kid put his D in a tuba. He wasn't paid to do it, he wasn't dared to do it. He put his penis in a tuba for free and for his own pleasure. Edit, to clarify, he did not have his whole D in the mouthpiece. And keep in mind it was freshman year and his D was far from impressive. Story 25. Few scumbags made an autistic girl their whore, took advantage of her condition and used her in turns. It became a pretty huge story in my country, mostly because it happened in a rich neighborhood. One of the boys was sentenced for 6 years, the others got away with it as they were underage. In the media their identity is censored, but I know who they were. Edit, people asked for more details so here it is. The girl was 15 years old when the abusing started, and the boys were 15 to 17.5 years old, other than one of them who was 18 years old, and he was the leader of the group and was arrested for 6 years. Other than the stool abuse, they also physically abused her. For example, they smothered cigarettes on her body, and used her naivety to blackmail hundreds of dollars from her. The leader of the group also threatened her that he would show to people videos of the abuse if she told anybody. Story 26. Oh boy, where to begin with Mr. S? For one, he had the habit of grabbing the loose skin of his neck, right under his chin, and shaking it back and forth while he was thinking. But NSFW-wise, he would always keep his classroom freezing so girls would come in with jackets, then about 20 minutes into class, he'd jack it up to 80, off came the jackets, then 10 minutes later down to freezing so there'd be nipples jutting out everywhere. Once the jackets came on it was back to hot. Repeat all lecture, hour and a half, long. Story 27. A teacher was purposely dropping pencils to look up girls' skirts, he got sacked. There was a rumor that one of the lesbian PE teachers felt a kid up in the changing rooms. Also we had an assembly about how mysterious and suspicious poops were being found around the school grounds and school halls, and as no pets were allowed on school grounds it was very odd. Turned out a girl was going round just laying turds down when nobody was watching. Edit, while there are so many upvotes, this is my most upvoted comment on Reddit, thanks guys. Edit, so a lot of people were asking what school did I go to? Well, I think it is about time I answer. I went to school in the northwest of England. I would give the exact name of my school, but I am ashamed of how I went to that school and would like to not be reminded too much of it. Story 28. Nothing too bad, but once someone took a dump so unbelievably large and clogged the toilet that it became a sensation. There was literally a line outside the toilet of people wanting to see and to have their photo taken with this gargantuan shit. This thing was the size of a small child. Think small fire extinguisher. Eventually we figured out who gave birth to this monstrosity. Turns out he has IBS and only shits every 1 to 2 weeks. Edit, oh yeah, there was also one time when a girl in year 7, she was 12, gave a handjob to a 15-year-old in the bathroom. Edit 2, for people wondering, this happened in Australia and it was like 5 years ago, so I don't know anyone who'd still have a photo of this turdzilla.